Unfortunately, I don't really have great textbooks, and this is an online technical class, so most of the information that you're going to be learning using presentations and videos. So today I want to talk to you about how I want you to pull information out of those presentations and videos using my guided note-taking strategy. You will be seeing a lot of lesson pages like this one. It will say lesson and then the name of the topic. On lesson pages, you'll see that there's a presentation, video section, and then there's also a guided notes section. Depending upon what the lesson is and what class you're in, there may be more sections on the lesson page. So this particular example is from my web design class, but all my lessons are pretty much the same. So what I'm teaching you applies to all my other classes as well. So when you're doing a lesson, the first thing you're going to do is click on the presentation, and in slide 2, there will be a picture for you to click on, which has the instructional video that accompanies the lesson. You're going to watch that, and you're going to do anything it asks you to do. If you need to refer to any of the slides in that video, they immediately follow slide 2 in order. So that's how you consume the video. That's how you look at the presentation. Once you've gone through the video once you've looked through the presentation and engaged in any of the activities I've asked you to engage in, you will see that there is a guided notes section. So I need you to know what information is important, and this is how I convey it to you. I will have a guided notes section that has questions and vocabulary. Sometimes there will be no vocabulary, sometimes there'll be no questions. There is a guided note template which uses my Colstock copy and share system that you need to click on in order to complete the notes. So you're going to click on the link once, and it will copy the note-taking template to your Google Drive. You will see the document shared screen, which gives you the name of the document that was copied, the location, and a link for you to click. Click on that link, and as always, the first thing you need to do is you need to change where it says student name to your own. You also need to update the topic for whatever the topic is. In this particular case, it's history of the internet. In addition to adding the topic to the title, I also want you to put it down below by topic in the note-taking section. So let's take a closer look. This is the universal guided note template that I use for all lessons. There is a question note section, which looks sort of like a traditional Cornell Notes note-taking section, and then there is what I would refer to as a vocabulary log, where there are rows for every vocabulary term. So I'm going to show you how to populate this and then how to complete it. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use your shortcut skills. You're going to want to come back to the lesson page, and you're going to want to Control-C each one of the questions, come back to the template, and then Control-Shift-V to put the questions in the questions column. Repeat, come back, highlight the question, Control-C, go back to the guided note template, Control-Shift-V, so forth and so on. Once you've copied all the questions in, then you're going to copy the vocabulary using the exact same process. You're going to choose your word, Control-C, go back to the template, go down to the vocabulary log, Control-Shift-V to put the vocabulary term in a new row, come back and get the remaining items. Control-C, Control-Shift-V. Just like that. Now that your guided note template is all set up, you're going to want to go back to the presentation and or video, and you're going to want to make sure that you take notes that answers the questions. As you can see, I've taken notes that answer the questions on all of the 4 questions from this particular lesson. You'll notice that I've colored my text. A lot of my students like to color the text or change its formatting so they know the difference between what was part of the template and what they wrote. The next thing you're going to want to do is proceed to the vocabulary log section. The vocabulary section is pretty straightforward. For each term, you're going to give it a definition in your own words, provide an example sentence that uses the word, and then you are going to populate this column with an image which makes you remember the term itself. So I just gave a definition for internet, the information superhighway that connects our world, and then I used it in my own example sentence. The internet is not the World Wide Web, though the two are related. Now it's time for me to come up with an image that makes me remember, makes me think of internet. When I think of the internet, I immediately think of cats. So what I recommend you do is go to images.google.com, and then for every vocabulary term, find an image that reminds you of the word. And then take that and drag it into your guided note-taking template and release it into the column. So there's mine. You need to do this for each vocabulary term. Okay, I'm all done. And I'm ready to save and submit my document. One thing I want to remind you of is if there were more than 4 questions, you can always tab in the last column and it will give you more rows. Same thing for the vocabulary log. You can tab and it will create new rows for you. Just as you would for any Colstock copy and share assignment, I want you to download the completed document as a PDF and then submit that instead of the link to your Google Doc. So remember, File, Download as PDF document. And then when that downloads to your computer, that's the file that you need to submit towards the assignment.